Welcome to this series of modules on the 4 foundational documents that will be useful when writing a proposal. Writers will want to be familiar with the STARTALK endorsed principles, the World Readiness Standards, the Necessful, Actful, Can-Do statements, and the TEL framework. This module will address the World Readiness Standards for learning languages. Both the teacher and student proposals will ask programs to indicate how the World Readiness Standards will anchor program goals. How they are addressed varies according to the type of proposal. Student program goals ask for a brief overview of the theme that will guide standards-based instruction and learning throughout the program. The teacher program is asked to describe the learning experiences that integrate the goal areas of the World Readiness Standards. This module will reference the model curriculum Let's Go Somewhere for grades 6 through 12 when discussing the World Readiness Standards. That document can be found at the website shown here. Teacher programs may benefit by thinking through how the model curriculum might be used to discuss the World Readiness Standards in their programs. Additional information on the World Readiness Standards is also available at actful.org. The theme, Let's Go Somewhere, provides the context and purpose for learning. The overview carefully details the intent of the program by addressing the 5 goal areas of the World Readiness Standards: communication, cultures, connections, comparisons, and communities. Let's look at how each goal area is incorporated into the curriculum overview. Programs will think carefully about how they will address the communication goal and will be asked to provide details for each mode of communication. The interpretive mode requires that learners understand, interpret, and analyze what is heard, read, or viewed on a variety of topics. In the interpersonal mode, learners interact and negotiate meaning in spoken, signed, or written conversations to share information, reactions, feelings, and opinions. And finally, the presentational mode requires that learners present information, concepts, and ideas to inform, explain, persuade, and narrate on a variety of topics using appropriate media and adapting to various audiences of listeners, readers, or viewers. Most programs will address all 3 modes of communication, although programs with younger learners may choose to focus more on interpretive listening and interpersonal speaking. Programs will provide specific details on learning experiences for each mode. Those experiences must be specific to the program theme. If we return to the theme from the model curriculum, the communication standards are evident in the description. The interpretive mode is implied when students work together to investigate and identify significant and interesting cities. The interpersonal mode is evidenced when students interact with each other to share information, insights, and advice. And the presentational mode is used when they use their language skills to share information about their particular region with their parents. With an indication of how the 3 modes will be part of the curriculum, the thematic overview then gives an indication of how the other goal areas and standards will be addressed. Let's look first at how cultures will be integrated into the theme. The cultures goal involves relating both cultural practices and products to perspectives. Products are tangible and intangible creations of a culture. Practices are patterns of behavior and social interaction. Both products and practices reflect a culture's perspective. Let's return to the curriculum overview for Let's Go Somewhere to look more carefully at how cultures are part of the theme. The opening line indicating that the theme will explore authentic products and practices would be too general in nature if more detail were not provided later in the description. We know from the complete description that students will explore cities, landmarks, artifacts, activities, and cultural experiences. Let's consider the next goal area, connections. The connections goal area involves making connections in order to expand their knowledge of other disciplines. In making these connections, students are likely to acquire information and diverse perspectives that are only available through the language and its cultures. The curriculum overview indicates that learners will explore the geography of different regions or countries and will become regional experts, able to share information and insights about critical aspects of their particular region. The goal area comparisons addresses both linguistic and cultural comparisons. Language comparisons allow learners to express themselves as speakers of the language would as they engage in communicatively purposeful context. Cultural comparisons allow learners to develop intercultural communication skills as they compare their culture and the cultures that are being studied. Here, in the thematic overview, you can see that the goal areas and standards overlap, but again, learners are making comparisons between where they live and other locations as they engage in virtual travel and cultural experiences in another country or region where the target language is spoken. Communities is the final goal area. Learners must use the language within and beyond the classroom. They must also have the opportunity to measure their personal progress, both toward the goals of the program, but also with regard to their own personal learning goals. The program will indicate how progress toward program goals is being measured when addressing assessment questions in the proposal. Here, in the thematic overview, there is an indication that students will develop a presentation for an audience beyond the classroom by presenting to their parents at the end of the program. Clearly, it is extremely important that a program consider carefully the theme of their program. The theme creates the context and purpose for learning, making it possible to address the 5 goal areas of the World Readiness Standards and each of the STARTALK endorsed principles. For additional resources, you may wish to visit the applicant resource page shown here. STARTALK and the National Security Agency thank you for your interest in submitting a proposal to promote the advancement of critical need languages for both teachers and students of these languages. Thank you.